Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. We continue learning the book Tomer Devorah, written by Moshe Cordovero, the great mystic of the 16th century in Tzfat. And today we're going to learn the fourth attribute, which says to the remnant of his inheritance. In Hebrew it is Lisherit Nahalto. And what it basically means is that Hashem looks at his children like his kids, like his relatives, like someone of his family. And so he acts towards us in such a way. So it says that Hashem says, what shall I do with Bnei Israel? They're my relatives with whom I have a close relationship. And Bnei Israel are like HaKadosh Baruch Hu's spouse, or like his children, or like his daughter. You know, in many references in the Torah, we are seen as the bride, like in Shabbat, the Shabbat queen is compared to the Jewish people, and the groom is Hashem. And there's like in certain Psalms that Hashem references to us as his children, Bnei Israel, my children. And so we see that in different ways the Torah shows to us the close relationship that there is between Hashem and us. So it is also written that Hashem says, if I punish them, their pain will be mine. As it says, in all their suffering, he suffers. This is from Yeshayahu. And so we see that this word that it's used here, the words of that means that sherit, the word sherit, remnant of his inheritance, really has a connotation to the word sher, which means relative. So we see that it's also written in Shoftim, he was unable to endure the pain of Israel, for he cannot endure the pain and shame, since they are the remnant of his inheritance. So it is insinuated through the Torah, through the Psalms, through the Tanakh, that for Hashem, the pain of his children really is his personal pain. We think that Hashem is very lofty and he doesn't feel for us, and you know, it's just a ruler up there. But in reality, for Hashem, when a Jew is suffering, he suffers too, and his creation forsake. So we see that all Israel are responsible for one another, because every Jew has within himself a portion of every other Jew. So we know that we have a neshama elokit. This is a godly soul. It's a spark of God that is within us. And this, in essence, when this energy connects to the essence, we all come from the same place. We all come from this never-ending light. So we're all interconnected. And when a person harms another person, he really is also harming himself. So it's as it says that it's commanded, that we have to love our fellow like ourselves. And this is what it really means, that we should not disgrace another person, we should not humiliate another person, we should not harm another person. Because in reality, if you're harming someone else, you're really harming yourself. It's like if you take your kitchen knife and you start putting it in your left arm, obviously the whole body is gonna suffer from this pain. So the attribute, the definition of this attribute is that a person might be offended or injured to the extent that he's sorely tested to restrain his anger. That sometimes we're put to the test. Hashem sometimes makes someone harm us, or make someone offend us, or make us feel bad, and it's just a test. Everything in life is a test, and it's a test that we're being tested to see how merciful we're gonna be towards another person. And I've said it before, like all these attributes of mercy of God really are there so we can bring mercy within ourselves. Like when we exercise these attributes, we're emulating Hashem, and we ourselves are being godly. And not only that, we are also bringing this mercy into the world. So when people are sensitive to one another's plight, when people feel for another person, and we can feel the joy of someone else, and we can feel also the pain of someone else, Hashem has mercy on us. I tell people when they're going like for hardships, like if a person is not being able to have babies, God forbid, or a girl is looking for her shidduch and it doesn't happen, or you're waiting for your parnasa and it doesn't happen, and people are like always waiting for something else. You know, we're always waiting for something. I tell them, be happy for your fellow. If your friend has babies, be happy for her. If your best friend is getting married and you haven't been able to find your match, be happy for her. If your friend has a beautiful home and because she has amounts of money, be happy for her. Because when we're happy for other people, this creates a huge commotion up there in heaven, and this mercy that you're exercising towards others, this joy that you're feeling for another human being because of their joy, not because of you, but because of theirs, brings this attribute of mercy into the world. So in this fourth attribute, we find an answer to the question that might have been troubling some of you in the three first attributes, and that it is, how can we be patient and understanding of those who harmed us? Like in the first attribute, that we bear the damage and we're patient. The second attribute talks about repairing the damage that someone else does to us. And from where do we are able to draw all this strength? Where do we get this strength to be able to connect to this mercy? And the answer is in this fourth attribute, in the attribute of the remnant of his inheritance, that we feel for each other because we just feel for them. We see them as part of us. She's my sister, she's my friend, she's my daughter, we feel for them. So to answer this question, we see in Parashat Vayigash, we learn that Yaakov Avinu descended from Egypt together with his family, and the verse states the entire soul, the entire nefesh of Yaakov's household entered Egypt. So it's not saying like 7 souls entered Egypt, it's saying 1 soul entered Egypt. And this is to show that the Jewish people the Jewish nation are not individual people. You know, we are in a certain way individuals, but we're also a collective people, and we are one soul. We are one soul with one body, we're one organism. So when one Jew is hurting, we all hurt. And if you see now that the Jewish people are going through so much pain with what happened in October 7th and all this war that's going on, the amount of life that has been lost, really with shouldn't have happened. We see how the whole Jewish people are steeped in pain. We're all crying. We all are feeling every hostage is like our child. We're all desperate. Why? Because it hurts in that exact place. In that place in which we are tapped into this attribute of the remnant of his inheritance. And we won't rest until we're all okay. Nobody's okay. Maybe you don't know someone specifically that's in that situation, but you are not okay. We're not okay. And we cannot be okay because it really hurts us to our core. So from this attribute, we learn this big mitzvah, this commandment of love your fellow like yourself. And we're coming into these days of arousing our ahava. We just came through Purim, where unity and love for each other is what really made the miracle for the Jewish people. And Rabbi Akiva taught that ve'ahavta lerecha kamocha, love your neighbor as yourself. And this is the biggest principle of the Torah. It's really the basis of everything. And the Malbim asked several questions on this teaching. The Malbim was one of the 19th century commentators. And he asked, how is it possible for a person to love someone else as he loves himself? How can we love someone like we love ourselves? There's people who don't even love themselves. So how can we ask them to love someone else? So how can we command to love someone at all? How can you tell someone, hey, you have to love this person? How can we generate this? And the third one is, elsewhere when the Torah describes love between two people, it does not use the word kamoha, but rather kenafsho, as in the verse, kenafsho, Yonatan ve'yahavo. Jonathan loved him as his soul. Jonathan was the son of King Saul, who loved King David like his soul, like his soul, like his neshama. And accordingly, this verse should read, ve'ahavta le'aveha kenafshecha. Love your neighbor as your soul. What is the significance of this change of wording? So usually the Torah uses the word et in the verse commanding us to love others, such as ve'ahavta et hager, you shall love the convert, and ve'ahavta et Adonai Eloheka, you shall love Hashem your God. And the sentence, the letter lamed, is used to denote something to be reached. Why then does the verse not read ve'ahavta et raeha instead of leraeha? And the Malbim answered this question based on the story in the Gemara, in which a Gentile came to Rabbi Hillel, and he said to him, I want to convert to Judaism. I want you to teach me the entire Torah while I'm standing in one foot, and if you teach me the Torah while I'm standing in one foot, then I'll convert to Judaism. And Rabbi Hillel said, it's very simple. He said, what is hateful to you, don't do to another person. And this is the flip side of you love your neighbor like yourself. This is what it really means. What it means is that you're not going to be harmful towards other people. You're not going to harm them. You're not going to do things to them that are going to hurt them. You're not going to abuse them in any way. You're not going to cheat on them. You're not going to steal from them. You're not going to trample on them. This is what it really means. And this letter lamed in the verse, ve'ahavta le'aveha, means that we have to be concerned about the welfare of other human beings. This is what it means. And that there is no room for the objection that we cannot generate a feeling of love, or that it is impossible to really love others as much as we love ourselves. So this is profound, because it really means also don't hurt yourself. Hey, be compassionate towards yourself. Be merciful towards yourself. Don't do things that are autodestructive. And you know what? Humanity is such people are so autodestructive. They smoke till they die, they drink till they die, they become obese till they die. You know, this is autodestruction. So first we need to also not harm ourselves to be able not to come and understand what it means not to harm someone else. And so we see that this is very powerful, that we should really live a life in which we are seeking the welfare of other human beings. And this is a Jewish basis, tenet of our religion. And the Malbim adds that some suggests examining our interactions with others by imagining what would happen if the law allowed everyone to act as we do. Before harming someone else for our own benefit, we should pause and consider, would we want this to be done, to be the law? Should this be law? Should this be allowed? And you know, today we see in this crazy world, so many things are being allowed that shouldn't be allowed because they're harmful and they bring harm to other people. And so this is the teaching of this incredible attribute. And really, more than ever, we have to really connect to this. We really have to connect to this. And this is what brings salvation to the world. When we're loving to each other, when we're creating a place of achdut, of unity between everybody, when we're working for the betterment of a higher purpose and not our selfish needs, then this is when we can see the love of God in our lives. So I wish you a blessed week, and remember, live a little higher. Thank you.